Welcome to HFY Sci-Fi Stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss new stories. The air recyclers in the notary's stark office thrummed with a palpable unease, a heavy atmosphere that settled like dust on Nova's tongue. The antiseptic room reeked of synthetic archives and the ghosts of preserved moments, a place where only echoes of the past seemed to breathe. A slender humanoid legal droid, its formal suit a shimmering projection, calibrated its optical array and initiated the reading of Mirror Stella's will, Nova's beloved grandmother. Axel, Nova's confident older brother, reclined in his levitating chair, a self-satisfied smirk plastered across his sun-kissed features. He was always the radiant star in their grandmother's eyes, the prospering interstellar merchant residing in the glittering orbital haven. Nova, a mere shadow beside him, worked quietly as a data archivist. She felt perpetually overshadowed, a faint background hum to her brother's dazzling existence. The opulent suite located at Delta 957, within the orbital spire, I hereby bequeath to my cherished grandson, Axel Solaris, the droid intoned flatly, as if reading a shipping log. Axel's eyebrow arched in haughty triumph, his gaze flicking towards Nova with barely concealed disdain. She struggled to maintain her mask of composure, though a supernova of rage ignited within her soul. She understood Axel was favored, but secretly clung to the hope of a shred of equitable treatment. And the humble homestead nestled on the arid world of Zephyr, encompassing all structures, land, and associated belongings, I bequeath to my granddaughter, Nova Solaris. The color drained from Nova's face, leaving her pale and shaken. Zephyr, a desolate speck scorched by twin suns, 3 centuries away from any semblance of society, the childhood home she barely recalled? It must be a cruel error, a glitch in the system. What could she possibly do with a decaying dwelling in that forsaken place? Axel erupted in mocking laughter, the sound ricocheting off the emotionless walls. Well, Nova, at least you managed to get something. You shouldn't have expected anything grand from Grandma. What exactly are you planning out there? Harvesting water from the sand? Nova remained mute, her voice trapped within her. Bitterness suffocated her, like a failing oxygen supply. Humiliation and insult pierced her core. Why had her grandmother orchestrated this? Did she genuinely believe Nova was so without worth that all she merited was an ancient house on a forgotten desert planet? Following the formal conclusion of the will, the subsequent proceedings unfolded swiftly. Beaming, Axel rushed away, flinging a parting shot over his shoulder. Seriously, unload that rust bucket, or the upkeep will bankrupt you. Not that anyone in their right mind would actually want it. The legal droid extended Nova, her hand clutching the access codes and the transferred biosignature. Nova fled the office, emerging into a harsh world where her husband, Aiden, awaited, his face etched with irritation, his synthetic leather jacket reflecting the cold, artificial light. What happened? He demanded, offering no greeting. Nova recounted the reading of the will, and as she concluded, Aiden's frown transformed into fury. A house on Zephyr? Are you serious? He roared. Nova, can you ever do anything right? A luxury pod on the orbital spire was within our grasp, a genuine opportunity. And you? You inherit a worthless rock pile. You're just pathetic, a complete failure. Aiden's words inflicted a pain that dwarfed Axel's taunts. She had always strived to be the supportive partner, yet his appreciation remained elusive, replaced by constant criticism of her perceived inadequacy. Aiden, please, she stammered, attempting a defense, but he silenced her. Enough. I'm sick of your uselessness. Pack your things, get out. I'm finished carrying you. Nova felt her world disintegrate into utter despair. She was alone, stripped of credits, of support, possessing only the keys to a derelict house on a desolate planet. Tears threatened, but she fought them back, refusing to let him witness her vulnerability. Mechanically, Nova packed her few belongings and departed the habitat pod she and Aiden had shared. She was without resources, without direction, only a desperate need to flee this duplicity, this betrayal. Driven by this singular urge, she booked a one-way passage on a cargo vessel to Zephyr, indifferent to what awaited her on that forsaken world, yearning only for escape, for anonymity, for a chance to rebuild. The journey proved arduous, the vessel shuddering through jarring hyperspace jumps, barren planetary systems flashing past on the viewport screens. Nova gazed into the void, struggling to suppress the encroaching darkness, grasping to faint memories of her grandmother, her uniquely iridescent eyes, her melodious voice, laced with impossible harmonics. Perhaps, within that old house, she would discover something to help her understand herself, to illuminate a new path. As the cargo hauler descended upon Zephyr, the twin suns dipped below the horizon, painting the endless dunes in hues of amber and crimson. The desolate spaceport greeted her with an eerie silence, the buildings weathered and worn, their peeling paint testament to the unrelenting elements. Time itself seemed to stagnate here, preserved within the arid air. Nova stepped from the ship, her gaze sweeping the desolate landscape in the distance. The sight of the ancient domed dwelling, encircled by shimmering moisture farms, struck Nova like a blow. It appeared desolate, utterly devoid of warmth. A profound sense of being forsaken washed over Nova, mirroring the house's forlorn state. With weary steps, she hauled her luggage through the gritty sand, approaching the structure. Her pulse throbbed with apprehension. She felt so very exposed and utterly isolated. What awaited her within those time-worn walls? Could she uncover any purpose on this desolate world? The following dawn, Nova steeled herself to confront her uncertain future. In a forgotten storage unit, she unearthed desert attire that seemed crafted specifically for her. Sturdy tan pants overflowing with pockets, protective hand coverings, resilient leather straps, and a wide-brimmed hat complete with sand goggles. She hastily donned the clothes, finding the fit surprisingly perfect, as though anticipating her. Slowly, she circled the structure. It resembled a mournful relic of days long past, unloved and neglected, heat-resistant coating peeling away, solar shields drooping, a barren, zero-scaped yard overtaken with tough weeds. Everything spoke of decay and abandonment. She braced herself for a dismal interior, but to her astonishment, the house was immaculate, suggesting someone had diligently cared for it despite its outward neglect. There was no aura of squalor, rather, a sense that the house was merely dormant, awaiting its resurgence. The air carried the faint scent of ozone, mixed with aged synthetic wood, yet thankfully, no hint of dampness. The furniture, though oddly designed with curves and angles subtly unsettling to human sensibilities, was solid and well-maintained. Holographic portraits adorned the walls, displaying the faces of people and beings entirely unfamiliar to Nova. She felt the legacy of this family, perhaps her own family, observing her from within the shimmering projections. During her exploration, Nova discovered a hidden storage chamber in the farthest corner of the house. The entryway was tightly sealed, blending nearly imperceptibly with the wall. She struggled to open it, but it stubbornly resisted. It took considerable effort to disengage the corroded biometric lock. The shriek of ancient hinges echoed through the silent house, making Nova jump. Beyond the door lay not a mere closet, but a vault overflowing with curiosities. Shelves soared to the ceiling, laden with artifacts of all shapes and colors. Some seemed fashioned from metals that gleamed with otherworldly hues. Others radiated a soft, internal glow. Many were enclosed within transparent containers etched with cryptic symbols. The secret room felt cleverly tucked away, easily dismissed as just another pantry. No windows broke the solid walls, but subtle vents whispered secrets of the outside. The ventilation system hummed softly, keeping dust at bay. Nova stopped dead, utterly speechless. Never in her wildest dreams had she imagined her grandmother possessed an archive of otherworldly technology, let alone one so extensive. She'd always thought of her grandmother as a humble desert survivor, focused on water harvesting and the basics, but this secret chamber whispered a different story, of profound intellect, wisdom beyond human comprehension, advanced scientific study, and a burning desire to protect it all. She ventured in, her fingers tracing the contours of the alien objects. Their surfaces felt peculiar, some almost alive beneath her touch, others radiating a comforting heat. An otherworldly aroma filled the air, whisking Nova away to a realm of boundless knowledge and discovery. Though research had never been her passion, here, a powerful compulsion stirred within her, a hunger to decode the secrets held within these enigmatic treasures. Some bore familiar languages from her library studies, others alien symbols, their glyphs seeming to dance at the edge of her vision. Lifting a metallic artifact, she studied it with fascination. It was icy to the touch, yet seemed to react to her very presence, tiny lights pulsing along its surface. A communications device, clearly built with technology far surpassing anything known to humanity. Nova dedicated hours to exploring the hidden sanctuary, captivated by the question of how her grandmother had acquired such a collection. She understood that this place was more than just a hoard of alien technology. It was part of her legacy, a key to unlocking the mysteries of her family and herself. A secret deliberately left for her alone. Driven to learn more, Nova moved on, exploring deeper into the house. To her astonishment, the expansive lower level was climate-controlled, an anomaly in such an ancient dwelling. She descended on a gently purring lift platform. In the shadows of one corner, she saw something shielded by an antiquated force field tarp. Her curiosity piqued, she deactivated the field. Beneath it stood an ancient, quantum-locked safe. The imposing safe was massive, protected by a biometric security system. Nova attempted to open it, but failed. She had no idea what the access protocol might be, or what secrets it guarded. The safe felt like another puzzle demanding to be solved. Then, a sudden memory surfaced. Her grandmother had always remembered the birth dates of all her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. It was her odd little talent. Nova tentatively typed in her birthday using the Galactic Standard Calendar, a shiver of hopeful anticipation fluttering within her. She input the numbers. Nova trembled as her fingers danced across the keypad, finally hearing the satisfying click that meant the safe was open. Her breath hitched at the sight. Pristine data crystals, shimmering holographic photographs, ancient documents, and memory tablets, all meticulously preserved within stasis fields. Nova's heart pounded with anticipation. She had stumbled upon something monumental, something that could irrevocably alter the course of her life. Drawn to the data crystals first, Nova yearned to hear her grandmother's voice. As the recorded messages filled the room, she discovered her true destiny within the family, her role as the spiritual inheritor. The message then explained the cruel twist of fate. Axel received the luxury pod because he was emotionally distant, unable to value the true inheritance. The old documents whispered secrets of artifacts possessing cultural and monetary worth, eclipsing the value of any luxury pod. Then came the holographic projections of a younger Nova, bathed in the warmth of her grandmother's affection. Moments of unwavering trust, profound love, and joyful connection. For the first time in what felt like forever, tears streamed down Nova's face, not born of resentment, but of sudden understanding. With shaking hands, Nova activated the initial data crystal. A holographic image materialized, revealing her grandmother sitting gracefully, her subtly non-human features more pronounced than Nova recalled. "Hello, my darling Nova, my precious granddaughter," she began. If you're seeing this, I've already embarked on my journey beyond the stars, and you're probably grappling with why things unfolded as they did. Why Axel received the luxury pod, and you were left with the old house on a forgotten desert planet. Nova froze, electrified by her grandmother's words, as if her grandmother could read her deepest thoughts, her lingering hurt and disappointment. Tears blurred her vision, but she fought them back, determined to absorb every syllable. Believe me, my dear, the decision was far from easy. I wrestled with fairness, with securing a future for both of you. But I came to realize that fairness is subjective, and true inheritance lies not in credits or possessions, but in memory, history, and a profound connection to your origins, both human and other. Then came a stunning revelation. Her grandmother wasn't entirely human. She was a hybrid, a product of love between Nova's human great-grandfather and a being from a distant star system. The unique traits Nova had always observed, the mesmerizing eyes, the melodic voice, the eternally youthful skin, weren't mere quirks, but legacies of her alien heritage. Her grandmother continued, explaining that Axel had always remained disconnected from family values. His sole focus was material wealth, career advancement, and climbing the ladder of success in the bustling orbital spire. The luxury pod, Mara Stellanova believed, would provide him with the foundation to chase his ambitions. She sensed, with a deep ache, he would probably part with it. Yet that was his decision, the course he had to navigate. But you, Nova. My dearest Nova, the voice resonated, imbued with an aching tenderness. You were always touched by something more, a deeper affinity for the cosmos, for forgotten lore, for our shared past. You felt echoes of those who came before, those born of Earth and those beyond. Remember the nights we spent poring over unearthed wonders? The tales I spun of our lineage, of those who walked this very soil? I saw it in your eyes, a burning devotion, the power to safeguard and elevate our legacy. A wave of remembrance washed over Nova. She recalled those precious evenings, nestled near the hum of the atmospheric regulator, marveling at alien wonders in her grandmother's care. The scent of stardust on aged metal, the soft pulse of otherworldly tech, the comforting texture of her grandmother's hand. They were anchors, binding her to something vast and eternal. The recording continued, her grandmother's tone laced with urgency. This house, on Zephyr, it's more than just aged walls. It's a guiding light, a heartstone for our people, a testament to our existence here. Within these walls, generations past observed, loved, endured alongside humankind. Their essence, their stories, their very souls reside here. And this collection, it is my joy, my sorrow. The mirror image of Stellanova continued, her voice imbued with fierce hope. I poured my life into gathering these relics, cradling each one, dreaming of a soul capable of understanding their worth. I know you possess that understanding, Nova. Feel their echoes. Decode their significance. The following message gave specifics. Directions to uncover records illuminating each object's heritage. Weathered ledgers. Scholarly reports. Communiques from luminaries in xenotechnology and historical research. She offered caution about valuations and sales, urging Nova to enlist trusted experts from her network. Nova dove into the data. Ancient purchase orders, property claims, and inherited legacies materialized on screen. One document hinted that some treasures had originated with a distinguished family from her grandmother's world before the Great Exodus. Another disclosed that certain items were gifts from the Galactic Diplomatic Corps, awarded for services rendered during First Contact. The full weight of her inheritance settled upon Nova, vast and profound. This wasn't merely an assortment of ancient alien artifacts. It was a breathtaking repository of profound cultural and historical significance, a legacy she now vowed to safeguard with her very being. But the holographic. But it was the antiquated photo album that resonated within her. In its depths, she unearthed a torrent of bygone memories of herself as a child with her grandmother, Mirror Stellanova. Here they were, meandering across the arid landscape, extracting precious water and rare minerals. There, basking in the stillness near a desert oasis, captivated by the strange local fauna, cooking together, conversing, erupting in laughter. In one memory, a miniature Nova, not more than 5, perched on her grandmother's knee, hanging onto every word as she demonstrated a miniature levitating device. Wonder illuminated her face, her eyes reflecting absolute love and reliance, while Stellanova's face glowed with adoration and concern. A dam burst within Nova at that instant, releasing a cascade of tears. Hot, cleansing tears that washed away years of bitterness, disillusionment, and self-doubt. These were not tears of anguish, but of awakening. The realization that she was not forsaken. She possessed roots, a lineage, a grandmother who cherished her and held her dear. A grandmother, though not entirely human, possessed more humanity than most she'd known. Nova understood that her inheritance was not just a house and relics. It was an endowment of affection, enlightenment, and conviction. Her grandmother gifted her the key to unlock her own heart, her own spirit, and perhaps a deeper understanding of the cosmos. Wiping her face, Nova gazed at the recordings once more. Now they weren't mere images, they were reflections of her personal journey, her fate. Her place was here, in this old house, on this serene desert planet. Here, she would rediscover herself. Here, she would unearth purpose. Here, she would finally find solace. A resolution hardened within Nova's heart. She wouldn't sell it. The idea embedded itself deeply, unshakable, banishing uncertainty and trepidation. She would remain on Zephyr, breathing renewed vigor into these time-worn walls, revitalizing this house to its former splendor. Not for credits, not for avenging her brother, but for herself, for the little girl in those projections, clinging trustingly to her beloved, part-human grandmother. Her first task was to find a repair expert. The locals, initially reserved, began to soften, witnessing her authentic longing to restore the neglected house. An elderly woman named Astra, whose dwelling bordered Nova's, vouched for a technician from a nearby settlement. "Jorax, he's got golden hands," she said with a smile. "And he respects the old ways. He's got respect for old tech." Jorax rarely spoke, yet his expertise was undeniable, a mastery etched into every creation. He surveyed the dwelling, a slow shake of his head betraying the daunting task ahead. "A monumental undertaking," Jorax admitted, "but the core strength, alien genius, will endure centuries." Nova exhaled, relief washing over her. They settled on terms, Jorax pledging to begin within the week. Next, she confronted the artifact collection. Hopeless to value them solo, Nova sought outside help, firing up the dwelling's subspace communicator. Locating numerous xeno-artifact brokers throughout the Central Worlds, she broadcast spectral scans of the most curious items. An answer zipped back quickly, a dealer eager enough to send a valuer personally. 2 days later, Kiran arrived, a youthful being sporting 4 eyes. He greeted Nova and began meticulously probing the cache, his multi-eyes darting, scribbling notes on his floating pad. Nova observed, pulse throbbing like a hummingbird's wing. Finally, Kiran beamed, all 3 mouths curving upward. "A veritable trove," he exclaimed. "Several here, unparalleled anywhere." Nova stifled a gasp. Kieran indicated a time-worn metallic orb, pulsing light within. This marvel, pristine as it is, a navigation device, ancestral fleet, uniquely priceless. Nova ventured a question. Its worth? Kieran considered. Difficult to pinpoint exactly, but I'd hazard no less than a luxury pod, orbital spire. His 4 eyes fixed on hers. Nova's heart hammered. One item, and untold others remained. The enormity of her legacy blossomed in her chest, a flower of awe and exhilaration. Kieran proposed assistance, detailing galactic auctions, private collectors, willing to pay extravagant sums for rarities. Nova expressed gratitude, requesting time to ponder. Should she liquidate it all, piece by piece, or honor her grandmother by establishing an interspecies museum? That same day, Nova looked to contact Uncle Petros, son of her grandmother's dearest friend. His comm code emerged from the safe's dusty contact logs. Uncle Petros lit up to recognize Nova, reminiscing about her grandmother Mira Stellan. "I sensed there was a hidden worth in that house," he exclaimed warmly. "Your grandmother was a seer. The greatest wealth, she always said, isn't material, it's legacy." Nova, a brilliant light extinguished far too soon, leaves behind an aching void and memories that shimmer like captured starlight, a constant reminder of her vibrant spirit and the boundless potential tragically unclaimed. Nova poured her heart out to beloved Uncle Petros, describing the captivating artifact collection, her vital restoration plans, and the powerful messages they held. He listened with unwavering attention, then offered his invaluable assistance. "Though I may reside far away on Centauri Prime," he assured her, "I'm always available to lend my wisdom. I possess connections that can introduce you to the right individuals, help you effortlessly navigate the intricate bureaucracy of interspecies artifact registration." A profound sense of gratitude washed over Nova. She was no longer alone in this daunting endeavor. She had a steadfast ally who deeply understood and shared her burning passion for their rich, interwoven family history, both human and alien. That evening, the soft chime of her communicator broke the silence. It was Axel. "Hey, Nova," his voice echoed across the void. "How's it going in that dusty old backwater?" "Everything's perfectly fine, Axel," Nova responded, her voice calm and steady. "And how's your luxurious pod treating you?" "It's fine," Axel said, a hint of defensiveness coloring his tone. "Listen, I've been thinking. Maybe we overreacted about the inheritance. What if we reconsidered? Traded places?" A playful smirk danced across Nova's lips. "So you're proposing you give me the house, and I hand over the pod?" "You know, Axel, I've been doing a lot of thinking, too," she replied, her voice laced with newfound conviction. "And I've decided I'm content, completely satisfied with what I have. I cherish this house." "But there's nothing there, Nova," Axel protested, exasperation creeping into his voice. "It's just a dilapidated wreck on a worthless planet," Nova countered. "It holds something infinitely more precious than any sterile luxury pod. Memory, history, and I wouldn't trade that for anything the universe could offer." Silence stretched across the subspace channel, heavy and thick. Axel was clearly caught off guard. "Well, suit yourself," he finally muttered, his tone laced with resentment. "Just don't come running to me later when you're dying of boredom out there." "I won't," Nova stated with unwavering resolve, and she terminated the communication. She turned towards the window, gazing out at the inky blackness. Night had enveloped the landscape, casting the house in a tranquil, intimate glow. The gentle hum of the atmospheric regulator filled the air, painting the walls with a soft, ethereal blue light. An unfamiliar sensation bloomed within Nova, an inner liberation, a burgeoning confidence, a profound pride in herself and her extraordinary interspecies family. She no longer felt deprived, despondent, or abandoned. She was the architect of her own destiny, the mistress of her house, her inheritance. And she knew, with unwavering certainty, that she could face whatever challenges lay ahead. For the first time in what felt like an eternity, a genuine smile radiated from deep within her heart. She rose, approached the window, and lifted her gaze to the star-strewn sky. It felt as though, among those countless celestial bodies, she could perceive her grandmother, the mirror Stellanova's, radiant smile. And that smile imbued her with the strength to forge ahead. Nova returned to the artifact room, picked up a small, pulsating object, and activated it. Instantly, a three-dimensional star map sprang to life, bathing the room in a mesmerizing constellation of light. With each star that illuminated, she felt herself sinking deeper into the captivating world of her family's past. A world she was only now beginning to truly understand, to truly cherish. A burgeoning curiosity, a thirst for knowledge, began to take root within her. Through xenoarchaeology, astrolinguistics, and interspecies art, it dawned on Nova that her grandmother hadn't simply bequeathed a home and relics. She'd gifted her a path to understanding herself, to locating her destiny within a breathtaking cosmos. Prepared to embrace it, Nova resolved to stay on Zephyr, revive the old house, meticulously examine the artifacts, and absorb every detail of her family's extraordinary, star-spanning history. A profound sense of happiness bloomed within her. This choice, entirely hers, resonated deeply. Certain it was right, guided by her very soul, Nova extinguished the star map, shut off the lights, and drifted into a profound slumber. In her dream, her grandmother's radiant smile appeared as she whispered, "I always had faith in you, Nova. You are capable of anything." And Nova knew with absolute conviction that it was true. Armed with a purpose more meaningful than anything in the galaxy, Nova awakened, refreshed and radiant. Donning her explorer's gear, hat secured, goggles perched atop, she ventured outside, inhaling the crisp desert air. The twin suns blazed brilliantly, while alien birds sang joyous melodies from the moisture evaporators. The world pulsed with vibrant life, renewed and captivating. A wide grin stretched across Nova's face. A profound joy filled her, knowing that this was merely the dawn of her extraordinary adventure.